Good morning, KW Colorado. I'm Russ Nolte. I'm your regional director, and Kelly Sutter is with us. She's our regional ops manager. Jenny and Leslie are here as well. We've got a jam-packed agenda today. We've got some initial announcements. Leslie's going to do a short tech update. We're going to talk about some agent and market center recognition. We've got a video market update with Cooper Thayer. He's on assignment today outside of the region. And then we're going to have Kazan Clark. She's also outside the region. She's coming to us from South Africa, and she's going to talk where listings end and marketing begins. Let's get right into it. The Leverage Series with Wendy Papazan is at Smedra February 4 and 5. We still have room. Kelly, what's the cutoff date for registering for the Leverage Series?
You can show up at the Leverage Series and
you can
you can
show up at
pay.
the Leverage Series. So we have plenty of space. If you're looking to get help growing your real estate business, if you're looking at possibly hiring a part-time or full-time assistant, if you're thinking about maybe a virtual person, the Leverage Series is a great step to going from doing everything to getting help. Wendy, we teach this once a year in the region. Wendy has a very unique path in terms of leverage. She was a stay-at-home mom watching her husband Jay write the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book with Gary Keller and Shift and The One Thing. And one day she woke up and realized her kids were old enough to handle the day-to-day, and she decided to get into real estate, and she was going to follow the path outlined in that book to the T. And now she sells hundreds of homes and still has time to enjoy life and enjoy being a mom of two college-age kids. So you want to hear this story from Wendy and learn how that can be your life as well. Our regional awards breakfast is March 6th. It's a Friday. It's at the Ritz-Carlton, Denver, free of charge. You will have to pay for parking, so ride together. Shift Workshop is March 25. That's at the Legacy Campus in Parker. That's all day, and it's with James Shaw. Shift Workshop with James Shaw. We've got tons of events coming up. I do want to ask you to consider saving the date for a luxury event that we're doing April 23rd in the Denver area with Brady Sandahl. More details coming on that. So Rachel Adams Lee, who was in Colorado Springs a few years ago at the Peak Performers Summit. She's coming back to talk about dominating your local market through social media. And we're excited about this. June 11th, we're doing an AI summit. Lauren Lucas is going to be talking AI. She's got a whole host of local and national guests that are coming in for this AI summit. That also is going to be at the Legacy Campus. Kelly, keep me honest. That's going to be at the Legacy Campus in Parker, if I understand it right. So we've got an awesome Q2 set up for you as well. If you want to get on the list for these events right when they are announced, go to kwcoloradoevents.com. That's our Eventbrite, and you can follow us there. Chance.
Oh my God, it's me. Good morning, everyone. Well, I am so honored that you all showed up this morning to hear me talk. I mean, I don't deserve this sort of treatment from you all. But hey, listen, there's a lot to be grateful for right now. And I think the one thing that we can definitely all agree on here is that coming into 26, we have a lot to look forward to. I think we're going to see some big things going on in regard to just momentum and trajectory for the markets. And, hopefully on the lending side, we can start breaking through some barriers here with rates, right? So now, one thing I kind of want to just shine on real quickly here is just because myself personally, I got a lot of phone calls over the weekend regarding the announcements that were made about institutional investors and the executive orders that were signed regarding that, and how does that impact mortgage rates? Here's the thing, just to put it into context, and by no means am I an economist, right? I'm not Cooper. He's definitely the magician when it comes to that type of stuff. But the one thing I can tell you is the order that was signed to kind of regarding institutional investors, I feel it's a step in the direction that we're starting to see some stuff with housing being, an effort being implemented. But do I think it's going to be the silver bullet to helping things with rates? No, right? Because just to put it into context, institutional investors equal about 1.2% of the investor pool in itself, right? So it's not like it's going to free up all this massive amounts of inventory. So I just wanted to kind of just shed a little bit of clarity on that because there was a lot of buzz going around this weekend regarding that. Now, what do we have to look forward to this week? I mean, we have Fed week, right? Fed is talking. Are we projecting to see rate cuts? Probably not, but I would definitely keep an eye on what is Powell going to be saying in regards to the meetings there. And then we also have some other inflationary measurables coming in. So with that being said, there's been a lot of movement in where rates have been going so far this year. But we are still staying in our channels here where we're not seeing a big uptrend coming into place, but we're seeing kind of some barriers put in place to keep the rates from getting higher, right? So that's good. Now, with that being said, we're seeing, and I pulled rates before jumping on the call here, conventional, we're still in the 6 territory, dancing on that lower 6 end range. And for our VA, FHA buyers, we're seeing somewhere into that high 5 territory still, right? So we still have good channels here where we're seeing positive mortgage application coming in. I myself have been dealing with a lot of pre-approvals lately, so that is a good sign, right? So I say this to you to maybe relay this momentum to your clients, let them know, get pre-approved now, right? Because we don't want to chase a market, we want to be ahead of that, right? So, but if you want to know a little bit more and talk a little bit more about it, give me a call. Best number to reach me is area code 360-929-4052. And I am looking forward to hearing Cooper and Kazan's presentations today on the call. So, and I will see you all at Wendy Papasan. So thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Chance. Kelly, can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
All right. And thanks to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate Top Flight Home Loans, Growth Minded Talent Solutions, Rocky Mountain Title, Choice Home Warranty, and Signature Agent Services. These are our top sponsors for 2026. We appreciate you. Leslie.
Hi, everyone. Quick tech update. We have now the capability to start really adding tracks to our family reunion app inside Command Mobile. So if you haven't done so already, make sure that you have the brand new version 3.6, because it's featuring family reunion. And the really cool thing about this year, you guys, is that we are going to see that there are specific topics that you can just go and then attend all those breakouts within those tracks. So that feature has been added to the Command mobile app for your family reunion agenda. And don't forget, your agenda is also shareable. So if you want to share your agenda with somebody, you can create it, share it. But just quick note that if you want to change it, you're going to have to reshare it again. So go check it out.
Leslie.
Yeah.
So I think what I heard you say in there is that the organization of events on the family reunion app is like you can select a luxury track or a buyer's track or a selling listings track.
Yeah.
If I select the luxury track, can I only go to those classes or can I swap out, throughout the
You
weekend?
could swap out throughout the week. You can add tracks or take them away, just depending on what you're focused on. So
All
yeah,
right, cool. Thank you.
yeah, you're so welcome.
And all of our classes that Leslie teaches on Thursdays are saved at KW Colorado Region 7, our YouTube channel. Thank you, Leslie. Speaking of family reunion, it's in Atlanta. The CEO Summit is fully sold out. Kelly already updated that. And yet the regular ticket, there still are tickets available for it. We are seeing swift sales of them and think we may hit sellout on the regular event. Social Media Con is a huge draw this year. And we've got Ryan Leak hosting that. And Gary Vaynerchuk's going to be there as well. And of course, Jay Shetty is our speaker on Tuesday. And he'll be doing his keynote right after the inspirational morning that we all know and love. So these are some of the sample tracks: buyers, sellers, ops, marketing, branding, AI, wealth, luxury, and commercial. And like Leslie mentioned, you're not stuck in the track. The reason that we've got these tracks is we're going to keep all the breakouts for each track kind of located close by so that you don't have to do so much hoofing it around the convention center. We're going to move to regional recognition. We're starting with top individuals. These are individuals for their individuals, groups, teams, and market centers for their December production. We will do full year recognition at the Ritz-Carlton first Friday in March. I think it's the 6th. And if you email Kelly questions like, where did I land for the region? She's going to say, see you at breakfast. So for closed units in the 5th spot, individuals, Diane Goldsmith, Lloyd Crum, and Faith Young tied. For the 4th spot with 6 units each, Corey Martin, Samantha Gallant, Ryan Rose, and Vanessa Marquez from Denver Downtown. And the top 3 closed units individuals, Hussein Garcia in the 3rd spot, tied with Raul Ochoa and the Deborah Jo Abeda team. Number 2, Yadira from Denver Downtown, and Jill Locke, who I just saw pop in. Congrats, Jill. And Sheila Bailey took the top spot with 16 closings. Great job. For volume, top 10, Heather Christensen came in 10th spot, Samantha Gallant the 9th spot, Jamie Callahan the 8th spot, Vanessa Marquez the 7th spot. The 6th spot was Caroline Turner. The 5th spot, the Deborah Jo Abeda team, which is an individual, and number 4 was Hussein Garcia. Top 3, Raul Ochoa, number 3, Linda Crowther from Southwest Colorado, number 2, and Sheila Bailey led the individuals with a closed volume of almost 16 million. Sheila, great work. For GCI, Ryan Rose was in the 10th place, Clarence Adcock in the 9th, Afke Lazar from Foothills in the 8th spot, Casey Hodges in the 7th spot, Vanessa was in the 6th, Hussein in the 5th, Jamie in the 4th, and the top 3 GCI, 120,810 for the Deborah Jo Abeda team, 142,712 for Linda Crowther, and Sheila Bailey, GCI, 281.55. Great job, everyone. For teams mean there are 2 people licensed and in production. For closed units, in this 4th spot with 5.5 units, the Grand Junction Group. They're located in Grand Junction. For number 4 with 6 units each, Signature Home Team from Summit County and Estes Park, and the Steve Henson Sales Team from Pueblo. Number 3, Deluxe from the Highlands. Number 2, Team Rochelle Cozzolino from Pueblo, and Seed Property Group from the Tech Center led the way with 8 closings. Volume, number 10, the Quintera Team from Client's Choice. Number 9, Team Rochelle Cozzolino from Pueblo. Number 8, Platinum Properties Team from Client's Choice. Number 7, the Collective Downtown, Denver Downtown rather. Number 6, Deluxe from the Highlands. Number 5, the Denver Family Home Team from Park Meadows. And number 4, Signature Home Team from Estes Park. Top 3 for closed volume. The Steve Henson Sales Team from Pueblo was number 3 with 3.5 million. AN Homes from North Jeffco from Aurora, number 2 with 3.6 million. And Seed Property Group led the way with 3.7 million. Great job. For GCI teams, Deluxe was number 10, Properties Colorado number 9, Team Rochelle Cozzolino number 8, Platinum Properties Team number 7, the Collective number 6, your Denver Family Home Team number 5, the Steve Henson Sales Team number 4, and the top 3 GCI Signature Home Team, 91,000, Seed Property Group, 101,000, and Homes, 107,554. Great job, everybody. Groups, this is more than 2 people in production. For closed units with 8 each, tied for 10th place, the Tiffany Home Team, Rasmussen Group, and the Onyx Group. Number 9 with 9 units each, the Kibler Group and the Vega Team. Number 8 with 11 units, Hudson Stonegate Team. Number 7, the Trinity Team Real Estate from Denver North. Number 6, Relevate. Number 5, tie between High City Group and the Brenna Team, 13 units each. Number 4, with 17 units each, Jamie Baker Orr Team and the Dixon Group. And then the top 3 closed units groups, Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range, Denver Tech Center, 22 closings. Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group, Denver Tech Center, 26.5 units. And the Johnson Team led the way, 31 units. Great job, Jeff, Dan, and team. Volume, Jamie Baker Orr came in 10th place. Atha Team In ninth, High City Group. In eighth, Hudson Stonegate. In seventh, sixth place was Relevate with 5.8 million. Fifth place was Fuda Home Team with 6 million. The Dixon Group, 9 million, took place four. In the top three, the Johnson team did 13.5. The Empower team, Colorado Front Range did 14.6, and Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group led the way in December at 16.5 GCI. Dixon Group 131, Relevate 132, Hudson Stonegate 147, Atha Team 155, Fuda Home Team 156, Coppervine Property Management 177, High City Group 179 and change. Number three, the Johnson Team, almost 300,000. Number two, Colorado Lifestyle Real Estate Group 345, and number one, Empower Home Team, Colorado Front Range, Denver Tech Center, 443,418. Great job, Gay and company. Expansion teams. These are expansion teams with hubs in Colorado. For closed units, the Phoenix closed 10.5, Selling Southern Colorado 13, Relevate 24. For volume, Selling Southern Colorado did 3.3, the Phoenix 5.4, and Relevate 10.5. And GCI, Selling Southern Colorado, brought in 100K, the Phoenix 122, and Relevate 269. Great job, Tyler and company. Congrats to all of our top producers. Great work in December. Big numbers for December. For market center recognition, closed volume, Denver North was in 5th place with 34 million, Summit County in 4th place with 37 million, Denver West in 3rd place with 65 million, Denver Downtown in 2nd place with 82 million, and DTC led closed volume with 113 million. For units, partners in Colorado Springs 66, Pueblo 70, Denver West 100, Denver Downtown 166, and Denver Tech Center 189. For listings taken, partners took 44, Denver Downtown 54, Denver West 55, Pueblo 68, and Denver Tech Center 105 listings. All right, congrats market centers, congrats agents, and we're going to do a short video update from Cooper.
Hi, KW Colorado. I'm Cooper Thayer, your Chief Market Strategist, here with a quick January update for you. And we're going to take a look back at some of the trends that defined 2025, as well as some of the key focus areas that I'm looking at as we head into 2026. So to start, let's look statewide at what happened last year. Things looked relatively flat. Of course, we know we had tons more new listings, up about 8%. But overall, the number of pending and sold listings was only up about 1 to 2%, and median sale prices for all listings remained relatively flat. In fact, they were only up about $50 year over year from 2024 to 2025. But under the surface, it's really two very different markets. We have the single-family market, which has performed very well and historically similar to what we've seen over the past decade, versus the townhouse and condo or attached market, which has really struggled and displayed very different characteristics. So diving into these numbers a little bit, single-family listings were up about 8.6% in terms of new listings hitting the market, and pending and closed listings increased between 3 and 4%. We also saw some moderate price appreciation statewide, with the median sale price up about 0.3% to 584,000, and the average sale price up about 1.7%. That's drawn up by higher priced listings, pulling that average upwards. And of course, as we all know, average time on market did increase about 15% to 61 days statewide last year. Now, in the attached segment, things looked very different. The only consistent numbers were an increase in new listings and an increase in time on market. Everything else looked very, very different. Pending listings and closed listings declined between 4.7 and 6.4%. That is a big decline in the number of closed listings. And we've also seen some price corrections in terms of condos and townhouses because of some of the affordability challenges that are facing buyers right now, sellers are having to compensate for those challenges in order to draw buyers in. So median close prices actually declined about 3%, and average close prices declined about 4% year over year. So back to the single family market. We have continued to see appreciation, but just at a more modest pace. And honestly, I think this is a more sustainable and healthy pace. If we look back over the past 10 years, single family homes statewide increased in value anywhere from 5 to 10, or even in 2021, we saw a 17, almost 18% jump in median sale prices of single family homes statewide. If we take that 10-year average, we've seen single family homes increase in price by about 7% every single year for the last 10 years. That is intense appreciation. If we look back over the past 50, 60, 70 years in the entire country, homes generally appreciate only about 4.27%. So Colorado, over the last 10 years, the trajectory has been at a very steep pace of appreciation that has priced a lot of buyers out. So we've seen that curve flatten a little bit. Things are still appreciating. Again, we did see a 0.3% improvement in median single-family home prices this past year, but they are appreciating at a slower rate. Now, the big trend in condominiums, and one of the big reasons that we've seen price declines, is, of course, HOA dues. If we look at the median and average price for HOA fees monthly, this last year, median fees reached about $425 a month with an average of about $500 a month. So that's between 40 and 50 cents per square foot per month. And if we look at what the average HOA or what the average condo looks like in terms of size, this shows us really where that affordability constraint is. So on average, at current interest rates, every $100 of HOA dues per month or incremental increase in costs equates to about $16,000 or $17,000 of buyer purchasing power. So that has completely changed the condo market and made it much more difficult for buyers to find affordability, especially in that entry-level segment, and that's built up that inventory. And we see this in the numbers. Now, historically, what's really interesting, if we look back to the 5-year period between 2015 and 2020, condo inventory represented by that orange line was always consistently lower than single-family homes and townhomes. That has changed in the last 2 years, where we now have consistently higher levels of relative inventory for condominiums when compared to single family and townhomes. And this number is very interesting. It kind of tells you a little bit about what happened last year. Condo and townhouse listings comprised about 24.8% of all new listings, but just 20.9% of all closings. And what that tells you is that homes are coming on the market and they are not closing. Of course, those condos that do not follow the trends of falling and correcting prices have struggled to find buyers and bring them in the door. Now, this has resulted in a big decline in condo sales. In fact, we're down about 42.5% off of the 2021 peak, where we had about 12,500 condos being sold monthly on average. We're down to just about 7,200, which is around the same level that we saw in mid-2013. Now, the big reason for this, again, was HOAs, but it's a broader trend of lack of motivation because renting is so much cheaper than buying today. In fact, in November, Colorado ranked number 7 in the country with the highest buy versus rent differential at 85.8%. That means that on average, it was about $1,600 or $1,700 more per month to buy the typical home, excluding the down payment, than renting the typical apartment. So how are sellers adding motivation to buyers and trying to incentivize them to visit their homes and to buy their homes? Well, obviously, we are seeing slowdown in pricing, and we're also seeing tons of concessions. Last year, we saw about 62% of all transactions, at least in the Denver metro area, with some sort of concession logged, and the average amount of that was over $11,000. So the big question has been, are we in a buyer's market? And there's arguments for, saying we're in a balanced market with our levels of inventory now. But in my opinion, I believe we are in a true buyer's market heading into 2026. Buyers are taking a median of 3.9% of a net discount off of original asking prices. What I mean by that is we take our top line original list price number, we subtract what the property actually closed for, net of concessions, so our net close price, and we see that buyers are getting just about a 4% net discount on homes. So as we're in a buyer's market, my advice for you is to just really position yourself for price normalization. And this is something that's a little uncomfortable to talk about, but again, our trajectory of home price increases has been incredibly steep and, in my opinion, unsustainable. So we've seen this slight correction start to appear in the long-term trend of pricing. And I want to encourage everyone to educate your clients, buyers and sellers alike, that it is not unhealthy for prices to correct in the short term to return to that sustainable trajectory. And there's a lot of different ways that this could look like. We could see something like a sharper downturn in the short term, which will correct prices and then they'll continue to increase. We could see something a little bit slower where prices continue to decline at a much slower pace every year. But what I want to emphasize here is that it is necessary for long-term stability for prices to normalize. When we think about historical context, when prices have doubled statewide in the past 10 or 15 years, a modest softening, a modest correction is normal, is not a reversal of the fundamentals of the key factors of our market, where we still have just an incredible mismatch between supply and demand when it comes to the systemic and overall lack of housing stock, not inventory. So here's two things that you should do right now with this information. Number one, know that active listings have bottomed out for this sales cycle. As of today, January 23rd, there's about 24,800 listings in the RE Colorado MLS. That is going to be the lowest level for this sales cycle. So active listing counts will continue to go up as we enter in the spring market. What this means for you, let your buyers know. Call them and say, hey, we have reached the quietest point of the year. If you want to start looking, now's the time, because inventory is going to go up from here. Things are only going to get better for you as a buyer when it comes to your options and your choices. So now is a good time to start looking. The second thing that you should be letting your buyers and sellers know is that mortgage rates have continued to decline. In fact, we are going to touch 6%. We actually dipped below it for a intraday last week. Within one day, we dipped down to just under 6%, but we are seeing a trend of mortgage rate decline, and this means that buyers are going to find more motivation. Their monthly payment pressure is going to ease slightly, and buyers will enter the market as payments come down and rates come down a little bit. So tell your buyers, look, interest rates are coming down, mortgage rates are coming down. Affordability may not be as big of a challenge for you this year compared to this time last year when they were around 7%. And for sellers, you can say, hey, look, buyers are going to be re-entering this market because mortgage rates are really touching that 6% level now. A lot of times they are below, especially with buy downs. And if you offer concessions, you can get your buyers down to a monthly payment that is extremely comfortable for them, and thus they will be attracted to your house. So that is my thoughts on last year and quick predictions heading into this year. I think the market's going to look a lot like it did last year, but we are going to see incremental increases in activity as mortgage rates come down. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email and phone number on that screen. You can always call, text, email me, and I would be happy to discuss your local market in particular or answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to Cooper. Cooper does such a thorough job and an awesome job educating us each month on the Colorado market. I'm excited that Kazan's here. Kazan spoke at the Rocky Mountain Summit back in September on AI. and she's here today. And she's actually in South Africa, so we're grateful, Kazan, for you popping in here today.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I am visiting my mom and my dad and my sister in South Africa. I was fortunate enough to surprise my mom for her 80th birthday. And when she saw me, she went like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't touch your heart, mom. But it was all good. It was just great excitement. So getting in some family time over here. Thanks so much for having me. This is a bit of an extension of what I spoke about at Rocky Mountain Summit. Obviously, this is AI is my passion. I live, sleep, and dream it. Chad and I are best friends. That's what I call my chat GPT, Chad. So, a little bit about me. I've been in real estate just over 10 years now. I've had about just on 40 million total lifetime production. And my background is in psychology, sociology, and the arts. And this is what basically shaped my shift from simply just listing properties to truly marketing them. Now, I don't have a marketing degree, and I don't think any of us need a background in psychology or the arts or a marketing degree to understand how to market properties in this day and age because we have AI. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's just click on this one over here. And I'm going to go into present mode. All right. Are we good? Can everyone see my screen?
Everything's great.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Oh, I meant to tell you to turn your volume down after Cooper. Did I come out really blaring? Oh, you guys good. Everyone puts the earplugs in. All right. So most agents know how to list, and but today we're going to look at not the listing side of things, but how to market your property. And I think that we're going to look at that with the support of AI, obviously. But I think that over the last 10 years, we're told that marketing is putting a sign in the yard, syndicating it to the MLS and to Zillow, and maybe sending out just listed postcards. And some agents in the early years did this at a very high level. Other agents didn't send out just listed postcards, and now that we have social media, don't even advertise on social media. But that's not truly what marketing is all about. And so let's delve into that today. So luckily, Gary Keller literally quotes us in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. The primary job of a listing agent is marketing the property. He goes as far as asking the question, are you a listing agent or are you a marketing agent? It's two hats. And Gary requires us or asks of us to be marketing agents. So the marketing part of our career is the job. The listing is the baseline of the very bare essentials that we should all be practicing as professional real estate agents. And if we are all practicing this, we're all doing the thing, the listing thing, right? Professional photographs, twilight staging, all of those good things. We're doing all of those things. You're going to probably see, especially in areas where we have a lot of newer development. I took these photographs from Zillow, actually. These were all properties listed in Highlands Ranch. You'll see that everything sort of has the sameness. And when things are the same, or perceived by the buyers the same, they're not finding the value in the price that you've listed at. Then what happens is then we create the pricing pressure, right? Because the buyer, as Cooper just said, buyers are out now, listings are up. So we want to try and market our property so that the buyer picks our house. Okay, so when we look at listing versus marketing, listing is the distribution of your property. This is where you upload it, you syndicate it. And in many cases, if you haven't priced it correctly, or you don't have a irresistible listing package, then you're hoping and praying that the sea of buyers out there are going to pick your home. Marketing is the actual positioning of your property, which defines its use It creates meaning, and it creates an emotional resignation with the buyer, as well then creates that pull, that demand for the buyer. We're not in 2022 anymore. So we're now trying to raise our hands with our listings saying, pick me, pick me. And I hesitated a little bit with this image because in the class that I teach about marketing and AI, I specifically say most buyers these days, I would venture to say 99.999% of buyers, and Cooper, please don't come at me for my unofficial statistics. But I would say most people, you can't see with my virtual background, look at homes in the evenings in their beds on their cell phones. So when you look at this image right now, it's pretty clear on your laptop or your desktop, but people are looking on their phones. I venture to say that that image is probably a half an inch by a half an inch as they're scrolling through, right? So the bottom image over here, the listing agent, in my opinion, did a fantastic job, right? The bottom image is the actual image that she used for her front cover on the MLS. That's her money shot. I would normally not pick that image because it's very crowded, especially on a small iPhone. It's going to be about this big. However, or Android, I'm not discriminating, on your smartphone. However, this picture, when it was so small, intrigued me enough to click on it because I wanted to see why she didn't use the front of the house like every single other agent out there. We're conditioned to post the front of the house, then we post the entryway. To the left is the living room, to the right. So we try and post pictures that are the natural flow of how the buyer is walking through. We have virtual tours for that. We have floor plans for that. We need to position our photographs, the money shot first, that's going to resonate with the buyer and create a story. Now, immediately, if I looked at the first image over here, I see a 3-car garage and a beige house. However, the second image is there's a fire pit, there's a conversation area, there's a little fountain, waterfall, and there's several levels to the home. I'm getting a little bit of nostalgia here. I'm like, this exists in Highlands Ranch. Sign me up. So we want to create a story and we want to create emotion around our listings. How many, and you don't have to answer this, you can just raise your hand if you want. How many of you have competed for a listing and the seller has said to you, how are you going to market my home? And then you go, oh, yep, there we go. Thank you. I see a couple of hands raised. What happens is literally you go, well, I'm going to send out just listed postcards. I'm going to do an open house, blah, 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 blah. You list off all the things that you believe is marketing. The question I want you to ask yourself as you're talking to the seller is ask yourself, how will this home be positioned? And that's going to guide the question that you're going to ask the seller. You're going to say to the seller, in your mind, you're thinking, how's this home positioned? How will I position this home? I encourage you to ask the seller, what's your favorite room in the house and why? Why did you choose this specific home versus a home that you saw in another neighborhood? What Brendan Bartik teaches this a lot. What is the neighborhood surprise and delight? Do they have a 4th of July parade down the street? Do they have a pickleball court in the cul-de-sac? I want you to find questions that encourage conversation and delves a little bit deeper into why your home is going to be special. Is there something about the neighborhood that is a must-see? Golf courses, restaurants, trails. And when you start encouraging the seller to talk about their home with pride, even though they're moving, then they can see that you're showing an interest in their home and that you're really trying to attract the right buyer for their home. Another question I get quite often is, where I want the right buyer for my home because I love my neighbors. And so when we're encouraging conversation about the aesthetics of the home and the feelings and the warmth of the home, then we are going to attract that buyer that's going to resonate with the neighborhood. All right. So when you ask yourself, how will this home be positioned? It means how the home will be used, how it will be experienced, how it will be valued. So fair housing is at the top of your mind all the time. So when you're working with AI, remind AI that you want to be aware of not violating any fair housing policies, right? What we're telling AI all the time, and I'm not going to give you the prompts today. Kelly and I will get together and I'll send the prompts over to her, and she's welcome to share those with anyone that is interested in receiving these prompts. But what we're telling AI is we are marketing the homes based on its features, the lifestyle, and its use. And the lifestyle does pertain to the neighborhood, but we're not targeting a specific buyer. That's very, very important. And I would remind chat about this all the time, or any AI platform that you're using. The home's best use. I think that agents get, I don't want to use the word complacent, but they get sort of like in a rhythm where this is what I'm supposed to say, this is what I'm supposed to type, this is what everybody else does. We're seeing a lot of development in Denver, especially in the older neighborhoods, where we're seeing condos go up right next to single family homes. So we have to understand the home's best use. Obviously, a condo is going to have a different use and support a different buyer than a single family residence, and they could be right next door to each other. So how does the home function? What problems does this home solve? And what is the lifestyle that it supports? Now, AI is not going to replace you as a human being and as a professional if you prompt AI to ask the right questions or to analyze the right data. This is the minute a buyer or the consumer senses, and we're already starting to see a bit of a resistance towards AI, especially in magazines and things like that, and movies and advertisements. Everything that you're doing is AI works for you. And I used this example at Rocky Mountain Summit where I said, I want you to treat AI like an unruly toddler. Those of you that have had children or have children and experienced the naughty twos or the terrible twos, if you give in to AI and let AI take control, it's going to be very robotic. But if you give AI the guidance of what you require from it, you're in control. You're going to have a very well-behaved toddler that goes to bed at 7 o'clock at night, sleeps through the night, and doesn't go to the bathroom one time. Trust me, that's a rare experience. Okay, we're using data without profiling. This is very important. We analyze the market's behavior, not the personal characteristics. We look for ownership patterns. We look for feature sensitivity, and we look at how the market is responding to our listings. Now, here in the Denver area, we have public records, we have Realist. So public records and AI. Now, I'm not sure if Realist is available to other market centers. We get it through Ori, Colorado. But I think that every region has some form of public access to information. And in our Realist, we can see market trends, we can see neighborhood stats, we can see neighborhood profiles. All I want you to do is, I don't want you to analyze the data. I just want you to take those PDFs right out of Realist or whichever public records you get your information from, download the PDF and save it for a minute. We're going to use it in chat a little bit later. We are analyzing market behavior, not personal characteristics. We're looking at, I've already said this to you guys, we're looking for ownership patterns, feature sensitivity, and market response. So this is your first step with AI, is just to download the market trends and any information that you can, even the comps if you want to, in public records. Now, your next step with AI is to go into Google Maps. You're going to type your address in. And what I love about Google Maps is that it's going to give you all the features around the neighborhood. Your seller might not be a golfer, And lo and behold, 1 block away from your neighborhood is one of the most beautiful golf courses in Colorado. Now, we cannot be the expert on every single neighborhood, but we can use Google and AI as our best friends. The thing I like about Google is you'll notice at the top of Google Maps, they have restaurants, hotels, things to do, transit, and all of those things. When you click on those tabs, it's going to highlight the neighborhood features. Make a note of those because we're going to be using those in AI a little bit later. What we should know as real estate professionals in Colorado is that Colorado really as a whole supports an outdoor lifestyle. People love the idea that we've got trails outside of our backyard. Highline Canals, the Highline Canal is one of the most popular trails in Colorado. We have easy commute access for the most part, and we have daily conveniences in our back doors. Make little notes of all of these things. This is really important. The money shot shift, okay? We seem to be conditioned, like I said earlier on, to put the front of the house first and center. I actually pulled this listing off the MLS. This was an expired listing a couple of months ago, June, July last year. And I was curious as to why it expired. So I went and I dug a little bit deeper. And then I found this backyard oasis. I went through probably 28, 29 pictures of various angles of this front yard, including, I think, the Subaru. I think that's a Subaru, and various angles of this long house. And the hidden gem, the beauty of this beautiful home is this oasis. They've got a gazebo, they've got a putting green, they've got gas grills, they've got fire pits. Literally, the seller spent, I think, his entire allowance on creating this backyard, and the realtor didn't use it. So have a look. If you're not sure which is the money shot, throw your images or upload your images into ChatGPT and ask Chat which one would he recommend based on the information once you start filling it out in the MLS, which one would be resonate best with the buyer and attract the buyer. Okay, so this is probably the greatest, my greatest pet peeve when it comes to listings. Our MLS provides us an area where we can put in the room descriptions. And what I see mostly is I might see dimensions 10 by 12, but under descriptions, I'll see carpet, hardwood, and that's it. Maybe 1 or 2 repetitions of ensuite bathroom and things like that. The biggest asset that you have in the MLS is the description for each bedroom, a bathroom, dining room, each room that you have. These MLS remarks, the features in this area support the value of your home. So if you're working an expired listing, take that old photograph from the expired, upload it into Chat, and ask Chat, give me a 1-line room description of this particular room. And you'll be amazed at what Chat comes up with. I call him he, what he, she says. You'll be amazed, so that you don't say the same things. And especially if you're listing a vacant house, it's very hard to be creative with that. So this is a great little tip for you. So remember, under the room description, the features support the value. So then the lifestyle that you're creating creates the desire. Now, here are my tips for you. You don't have to worry about this. Is the actual description, and I know it's very small. It's just to show you how it lays out. You're going to update your public remarks using those public records that you saved earlier on and your Google Maps data. You're going to put it into Chat, and you're going to tell your prompt is going to be, I'm a real estate marketing professional. I've been hired to market this property. Not a real estate agent, because you don't want Chat to start using agent-specific words, and I'll get to the reason for that in a second. So you're going to upload all of this, and you're going to ask chat to write you a 2,000 character limit. So in Ori, Colorado, here in Denver, well, here in Pretoria, South Africa, Ori, Colorado, back in Denver, you have 2,000 character limit. So you're also going to ask chat in your prompt to use SEO words, search engine optimization words at a 5th grade reading level that the buyer would use. Because now what's going to happen is when it syndicates to to Zillow, and when you start putting things on social media, Instagram automatically feeds to Google. So if the buyer is typing in words that they're searching for, your Instagram post will come up in Google. It'll come up in your website, and it will pull to Zillow as well. And the reason why I say a 5th grade reading level, because some of these descriptions are so highfalutin that even the Queen of England would have gone, "What is this?" Right? And it's for a little 2-bedroom home in a remote part of Colorado that no one would ever use those words to describe a home. So we want to make our description relatable to the buyer, okay? Now, I like to do 50-50 additional features and area lifestyle highlights. So I'll say to chat, and I'll send you all the prompt, I want my 2,000 description to be 50% additional features. So this is where I might want to put in that the hot water heater was newly installed. It's got a new roof, because remember, we can't put that in by the room description. I might want to say that it's on a cul-de-sac. 50% of my description is that. And then the 50% are those neighborhood features that is going to appeal to the buyer. And this is very, very important. Real estate terminology versus consumer understanding. We are conditioned to talk like real estate agents, not like real human beings. I was at a beautiful broker open house the other day in Highlands Ranch. Very, very exclusive, over $1 million listing. And the homeowner was there, and they said that they'd lived across the road, and I'm just going to make up a name, in the exclusive Maplewood neighborhood. And I'm a real estate agent, and I've never heard of the Maplewood neighborhood in my life. So we tend to say things like highly coveted or exclusive Maplewood neighborhood. But if we've got someone moving from Fort Collins or Southern Colorado or Texas or California, they don't understand that terminology. That's realtor talk. We're assuming that the buyer knows what's highly coveted and what's desirable. You need to explain why that area is, why it's desirable, why it's fetching those prices, and why those homes are moving off the market so quickly, whether it be a golf course, a school, or something that's causing that neighborhood to hold its value. So watch out for real estate terminology. Specifically, if you are going to put it into chat, ask chat to use a 5th grade reading level, which is highly practiced in all speeches and writing materials across the board. Okay, so now let me just see where my next slide is. Okay, I love this. Okay, I use this example all the time. The Nike moment. Top brands market by use, not by guessing the customer. Okay, homes are no different. Can you imagine if Nike advertised their shoes as leather upper, reinforced sole, inclusions, laces? We do that to homes. If Nike can tell a story, you guys, around a tennis shoe, we should be able to tell a story around a $500,000, $600,000, $1.5 million property. Okay, now let's go to I think I'm almost done with my slides. Oh, there's one more over here. So why AI matters. AI enables deeper marketing. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut and we say the same things over and over again, and the buyer gets bored, the consumer gets bored. It gives us a clear positioning, consistent language, and a professional way of a level of thinking. So I'm challenging you, I'm encouraging you to do 3 things this week. It's my little call to action for everyone. Even if you don't have an active listing right now, take an expired listing. I want you to define the home's best use. I want you to lead with the strongest feature. And if you're not sure what the strongest feature is, ask AI to do that for you. And I'd like you then to rewrite one description using AI. And you can go into whatever public information access that you have for that. And then finally, I think that was my last slide. Let me just have a look. Yep. So this is what happens. Your listings gets the property seen. Your marketing gets it chosen. And AI supports the process. And that's me, everybody. Do I have
Kazan, that's
any
awesome.
pause from the group?
Any questions? Let me see. I'm looking at the chat here. Well, you're getting a lot of kudos.
Yay.
That was great. Kazan, if someone listening here wants to do one substantive thing to get going on this, what would you tell them to do, in the next week?
I would tell them to take an expired listing and go in and take that, go in and test those expireds. Have a look how many people did room descriptions and get used to the idea of taking an old photograph, doing that one-line listing description, but then also taking the existing real estate description that the previous realtor used, getting used to writing that language or have AI write that language so that you can get comfortable with the writing style of being a little bit more in touch and resonating a little bit more with the public.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, Kazan, thank you for being here all the way from South Africa. What time is it there?
It is now 8:59, and I'm so glad we didn't have the birds. You guys, the birds are insane. They're so loud. It's almost like
Hey, Russ, real
a
quick. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Kazan, you were cutting out. I just wanted to also just mention to our market centers and leadership who are on this call, Kazan is one of our Rocky Mountain Educational Services instructors, and she now is teaching a deeper dive into this in the market centers. So if you're interested in this, reach out to us and we will get you on the books for her to teach. How long is it, Kazan? Is it all day? Is it a half day?
It's actually the actual class, because we go quite deep into it. The actual class is 90 minutes, but then what we do is we go into a workshop, and I fully encourage people to bring either their stale listings, for lack of a better word, or to bring expired listings, and we work through them together. So then it becomes a workshop session. It's a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
Love it. Awesome. Kazan, thanks for being here. Everyone, our next regional rally is on February 16th. We've got James Shaw piping in for that one. You don't want to miss it. He's got some great things to bring to you about how to get your listings moving. Talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.